evening once again. The recording has begun. This is day 3, week 10 of our journey together. This is day 3, week 10. And it's definitely a pleasure to have every one of you inside the class today. So we're going to continue where we left off on yesterday. Yesterday we was about to do something big, but I said, you know what, let's just leave it until today. I think this is it right now. Yeah, I think this is it right now. Yes, this is exactly it. Alright, so we began with this question. The question says, use the formula to calculate the first 50 natural numbers. Can anyone remember how we did that? The first part? How we used the formula to figure out the first 50 natural numbers?
We put
Go ahead.
we put 50 open bracket 50 plus 1 over 2.
Yes, very good. So the way that we tackled that yesterday was, what we did was, sorry, excuse me, I think someone is asking to join. Yeah, what we did was we placed 50 wherever we saw n. So again, wherever we saw n, we put 50, and so we put 50 here, open bracket, 50 plus 1. Excuse me. And so 50 plus 1 is 51. And so we say 50 times 51, which is 2,550, and then we divide by 2. Dividing by 2, we got 1,275. And so that's how we determine the sum of the first 50 natural numbers using this formula. Now, the next part says we need to figure out the amount of natural numbers that add up to 210. And so it's slightly different from what we did yesterday. I shouldn't say slightly different, it's a lot different than what we did yesterday. But we're using the same formula, right? And so let me allow this person to
I found out the name of the guy who invented the formula.
Oh, you found it. What's his name?
Bgcse, Gauss.
Yes,
G
Goss. Yes, Goss. Yes, very
A. And
good.
yes, he was like in grade 7 or something. He's a child,
Yes,
and he figured that out.
yes, he was. Um, the the story goes like this. He was at least according to the story, they say that his teacher wanted to give him punishment, and so she gave him a punishment to add up the sum of, I think it was all the way up to 100. And so he figured out a formula to figure it out, and then he finished so quickly, and then teacher's like, well, how did you finish that? And then so he apparently derived the formula to figure it out. And so
Well, the research I have, the assignment was given to the whole class.
the assignment is given to her.
It wasn't like a punishment. It was an assignment of integers or something. That's what the website said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And everybody was struggling, but then he was like, if there's another way you could do this, and then he figured it out like that.
Okay. That's how they do it. That's how they shared it. Okay. From what I remember, we learned, and they told us that it was a punishment that he had. At any rate, he was young when he figured it out, and it's impressive what he saw. Young guys. Alright, so let's consider this question. But thank you, Miss Reckley. Glad that you remembered to do it. Okay. So we're gonna use this formula again, and with this formula we're gonna figure out, sorry, the amount of natural numbers that add up to um, 210. So basically, what they basically told us is they told us what S is. Okay. So in A, they told us what N was, right? This time they told us what S is, and so what is S? If you could give it a guess, what is S? S is how much? Anyone? What is S? Hello? Are we out? Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, I wonder. Okay. Can you all hear me? Oh, I guess I wasn't sharing my
Yeah.
screen.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen, or it blank out.
You get kicked.
Say it again.
You get kicked out.
Oh, I got it out. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me check something. I wonder why. Okay. I was asking. This formula gave us. Sorry, this question it gave us what S was, and I was saying, can you all guess what is S based on the question?
210.
210. Yeah. So S is going to be the sum when we add up the first n natural numbers. Now, here, they tell us that the amount of natural numbers that add up to 210. So they give us the sum already. Okay, so S is 210. Now we have to find which n, or how much natural numbers we have to add up to get 210. Again, we have to figure out how much natural numbers we have to add up to get 210. Is it the first 5? Is it the first 6? Is it the first 7? Is it the first 8 natural numbers that we have to add up to get 210? Okay.
I have the answer, but I got that by mistake.
Oh, you got it by mistake. Which answers?
20. I
What
was
you?
trying to research the formula and I ended up getting the answer.
Oh, okay. Okay. 20. All right. So 210, and then we have. So we plug in. We substitute 210 for S. So we have n open bracket n plus 1. So that's the first step. Substitute um substitute S for 210. Okay. And the next step here is that we want to multiply by n. So we're going to take this n on the outside and multiply it by this n. And we know that n times n is what?
2.
No.
Where?
N times n is n
Where?
squared, yes. N squared. And then we have n times 1, which is going to be what?
N.
N
And
divided by what?
2. 2.
Good. And so we have 210. All right, good. And so what we're going to do here, anyone can guess what we're going to do? This is a good one. Say it again. Say it again.
What's that called?
No, not multiply the powers. This is ripe for something. It's ripe for something that we could do well. Can we not cross multiply? Right? We can, right? So it can be 2 times 210. Again, 2 times 210. What is 2 times 210?
420.
420.
4,
20.
420. Okay, 420. And we have 1 times n squared plus n. Again, we have 1 times n squared plus n. What did that give us?
The same thing, Bob?
Yeah, n squared plus n. Good. And so here we have
And
n squared plus n equals to 420. Now, okay, we could do at this point is we could send 410 over the equal sign. It's gonna sound weird, but I'm gonna trust me on this one, right? And that's why this was a 5 point, because what type of equation is this?
linear.
No, it can't be
Linear.
linear. It can't be linear. Why it can't be linear?
Quadratic.
Quadratic. Yes, quadratic. Because the highest power of the variable is 2. Okay, so it's a quadratic equation. If it was a linear, then the highest power of the variable is going to be what?
1.
1.
1.
So this is a quadratic equation. So solving quadratic equations is a bit different. We have to use the quadratic formula. And so we're going to send 420 over the equal sign over here. And so it's going to give us 0 is equal to n squared plus n minus 420.
420.
Yes, mom? What did you say?
You said minus 420.
Yeah, minus 420. Good. Now we have 0 equals to n squared plus n minus 420. Now I just want to swap it. I just want to swap it to make the letters, to make this side on the left and this side on the right. Why? Just because that's just by convention. It's just that that's how we normally have it. We normally have the letters and stuff on the left and the numbers and stuff on the right. So it's gonna be n squared plus n minus 420, and that equals 0. Alright, and so now we're gonna solve this quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. So I gotta move this, or do I? I don't know if I don't have, I have to move it. I could write on the side. Yeah, let me write on this side because I don't want to inconvenience you all. So I'm gonna write on this side. So the quadratic formula. Anyone heard about the quadratic formula before?
I have.
Yeah.
No.
No. Basically, the quadratic formula goes like this. It's a if you have a quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, Then your solution to your quadratic equation is going to be x is equal to, it's been a while. I don't know if I remember in my head, but I think it goes like negative b plus or minus the square root of um, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now I think that's what it is. Now I gotta look online and see if it's the case.
All right.
That's correct?
Who's good?
Yes, sir.
Like, who said that's correct? I heard in the background with a faint.
Ashner.
Oh, Ashnet. Okay. Alright. Yeah. So they usually have the formula also in the exam too. So let's see if they have it there for us. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Someone's asking a question. Go ahead. So never mind. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Let's see if it's here somewhere. Do we have it?
Yes, you pass it.
Okay. There we go. So like I said, if we have the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, the solution to the equation is going to be x equals to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay. Alright. Okay, so let's use this formula to figure out what would be the solution to this guy right out. Alright, so based on the formula, instead of using x, we can't use x because our equation has n, so we have to use our equation has n, so we have to use n. So this is gonna be, instead of x, we put n. So n, the solution for n is gonna be equal to negative b. Now b is gonna be the number in front of x, but in this case, it's the number in front of it's a number. Let me just list it out for you, right? So in this case, a is the number in front of x squared. So in our case, right, a is going to be the number in front of n squared, which is 1. So a equals to 1 because the number in front of x squared is a, and the number in front of n squared is 1. So whatever's in front of your squared term is a. Same thing for b. For b is whatever is in front of your x term. In this case, we use an n, so it's whatever in front of our n term, and so that's 1 again. So a is 1 and b is also 1. Okay. And then c is going to be the number by itself. Okay. So this number is going to be what is c? Anyone could guess what is c?
What, 20?
Negative 420,
Oh,
right? So c is negative 420. Okay, good. And so we have everything that we need. So negative b is, like I said, b is 1. It's going to be negative 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared. B is what? B is what?
1.
1, right? There's going to be 1 squared minus 4. A is what? 1.
1.
4 is 1. C is negative 420.
Negative.
Good. Close bracket. all over 2. What is A? A is going to be, so N is going to be equal to -1 plus or minus the square root of, what is 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times 420. We'll figure what that is.
But yeah, but if you know what happened to me, boy, I ain't gonna lie,
Your
boy.
mic is on.
I don't try to kill this one nigga, but tell me why he other team come out of nowhere and the two of them boys from gonna be man.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Someone mic is on.
So like I'm right.
Okay, good. Okay, all over 2A, good. So it's gonna be 1 squared. So it's 1 squared minus 4 times 1. 4 times 1 times -420. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so let's multiply it. New symbol of. Okay, so we have again 1 squared minus 4 open bracket 1 times -420. I think that's it, right? That's what we have, right? Am I still on? Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
It's up. It's up.
Okay, because I wasn't hearing y'all at all. Felt like I was talking to myself. Okay, so we get 1681. So it's going to be 1681 divided by 2. Because 2 times 1 is 2. So n is going to be equal to -1 plus or minus. Please, if you're not speaking, mute your mic, please. The square root of 1681 is what? The square root of 1681. What is that?
I can't hear you. Can you like say?
I say the square root of 1681. What is that?
41. Is it 41?
Yeah, 41. Okay, 41. The square root of 1681 is 41. Okay, so we are left with,
Hello.
hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, still we can hear you.
Okay. The square root
Hello.
of, hello? The square root of 1681 is 41.
Yeah, you got me, John. Alright.
Oh, his mic is on. Okay, we have a lot of options.
You got me right. You don't call me. You think it's Savior.
Okay, we have a lot of A lot of interactions today. I don't know. I don't know. All right, so divided by 2. So notice that this says that -1 plus or minus 41 divided by 2. So we're going to do the plus first, and then we're going to do a minus. So n plus, right? N plus is going to be equal to -1 plus 41 divided by 2, and n minus is going to be -1 minus 41 divided by 2. So it's equal to. Alright, so let's do the plus. What is -40? What is -1 plus 40? Sorry, what is -1 plus 41?
40.
40 divided by 2. What is 40 divided by 2?
20.
20.
20.
Good. So the first answer we get is 20. That's for the positive one. Then for the negative we get what? -41. Sorry, -1 minus 41 is what?
42.
42.
See, I ain't mean to cut you off, whatever question when you finish.
No problem. And -42 divided by 2 is what?
11. I mean, 21.
Did you say?
21.
Positive 21 or -21?
-21.
-21. Good. Alright, so the value of n, right? Because they say we want to figure out the amount of natural numbers that add up to 220. Sorry, 210. So the amount of natural numbers that we need to add up to 210 is actually going to be 20. Okay? So 20 is our answer. And the reason why we can't use -21 is because, well, -21 is, remember, n is a natural number, and natural numbers can't be negative. All right? And so this solution we have to ignore. So the quadratic equation gives us 2 solutions, but we have to choose which one is right. And this one can't be right, okay, because it's a negative number, and they ask us for a natural number. Okay, so what we'll say is, we'll say, let me put it on this side. So we'll conclude by saying that therefore the amount of natural numbers the amount of natural numbers the amount of natural numbers that add up to 210 is how much?
20.
20.
Yes, 20. Alright, and so that's how we do this question. Any questions for me?
I see why this is
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's a shorter way.
You just joking, right? A1,
No, sir.
say no. So, is there a shorter way? There probably is. Maybe. There might be, because besides using a quadratic formula, we probably could factorize this thing. We might could factorize it. We might could factorize
Mr.
the.
Potato,
Go ahead.
could you explain how you got the positive part one more time? Because I got the negative part when I tried on my own, but I didn't get the positive part brought down back. So
You mean this part? This right here?
yeah.
Okay. So with the positive, it was. So we have a negative 1 plus 41. Okay, negative 1 plus 41. And negative 1 plus 41 is 40. Right? That's basically 41 minus 1. So it's 40. And then 40 divided by 2 is 20. So that's how we got to 20 there.
No, I mean like above. So like
Oh,
so.
oh, above.
I mean with Oh, never. I see it. When you did negative one plus
Yeah,
the
plus.
amount, then
Yeah,
you did negative and negative. Okay, I see it.
yeah. Um, yeah, there might be a way to factorize this thing. Um, there probably is. Yeah, there probably is. We have this. We have 20 and 21. Um, yeah, there probably is. There probably is. Let me see something. 20 times 21. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, there's a shorter way, but the shorter way doesn't come naturally though. When I say the shorter way doesn't come naturally, the shorter way doesn't come, um, like it doesn't pop out until after you do this way, right? So after we do this way, then we could say, okay, well, we know what the solutions are, so we could think of it. Excuse me. Um, but the only shorter way is by So you still, at the end of the day, you still have to come down to this equation, n squared plus n minus 420 equals 0. You still have to come to that equation. That you cannot avoid. Um, but you can factorize it, and when you factorize it, then you'll get the answer. But I'm not gonna factorize it. I would suggest to do it this way one time. All right, just do it this way one time. The quote unquote easier way, um, it ain't it ain't that much easier. And it's only gonna be easier if you know how to factorize already the quadratic equation. Um, and so I wouldn't bother with that, at least not for right now. Okay, so any other questions? Yeah, I suggest that you do it this way because this way you use the quadratic formula regardless of what. This way is the bulletproof way. Like you know it can work. The other way you have to figure out what to factorize, and I wouldn't suggest to do that way. Any other questions? All right, so that was number 7. Took up 38 minutes. Wow.
Are you saying it's two?
Is there any other questions before?
Is that was that's a paper 3 question, right?
Yeah, paper 3. All right, so familiar, unfamiliar, easy, medium, difficult. In your opinion, how was it?
Unfamiliar but medium if I keep practicing.
Okay. All right. I like the sound of that.
That's one question I'm skipping.
Nancy. Please. Don't skip it.
That question will not get answered.
Don't skip it, please. Don't skip it. So where were we yesterday? Still to 2016. Alright, so let's go back to the familiar then and get some good practice in. Alright, so that's 2016? No, not paper 1, paper 2. Paper 2, paper 2. My apologies, paper 2. Alright, so yeah, so yesterday we plowed through these. We did the area of the circle and the area of the pool and the area of the rectangular playground. We saw what was 7/8 and what's not. And we did all that, and then we did that, and we talked about the angles and everything. And we also did this Son George. And okay, good. So today we're gonna look at the sets question. So the Venn diagram below shows a set of factors of 18, E, and 24, F. Use the Venn diagram below to answer the questions. Okay. So write down this question. Oh, by the way, can you all send me the photos of the first question? Let me see how y'all tackle that. And write this down. And also the questions that accompany it. So again, sets as usual. For those who've been following us for a long time, you know that sets is one of those things that they love to bring. And so knowing it is very important. It's very important. It's very, very important. Okay, so let's put this on the side here, and then put the questions on the side. So I'm gonna give you a moment to write it down. Okay, good. Good. Alright, so take a few moments to write it down and answer it one time. I think this is easy for all of us to answer. Come right back, give me one moment. Alright, so let's go. So the Venn diagram below shows the set of factors 18, E, and 24, F. Use the diagram below to answer the questions. What does this E mean? Excuse me.
All in B.
Universal.
The universal set, right? Okay, good. So Based on this diagram, what are the factors of 18? Can someone tell me?
You said the factors of 18?
Based on this diagram.
9,
I want them in order.
9,
In order.
2, 3,
In order.
4,
1,
Huh?
2,
Yes.
1, 2,
2, 3, 4, 6,
6, 9,
9,
18.
And 18.
12.
Where, how you get 12? I say
My
factors of
bad.
18.
I thought you know where from.
Very good. Now, based on this diagram, what are the factors of 24?
1,
1,
2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 24.
Very good. So the factors of 24 are given in F box, in the F circle, right? All of this, and the factors of 18 are given in the E circle, okay? And so the question states the following. List the members of E, or stated a different way, list the members of, or list the factors of 18. And so what do we have for this one?
Wait, we have to do it in order?
One, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18.
6, 9, and 18. List the members of F only.
4, 8, 12, 24.
So F only would be these, the ones that are only in F and not in the intersection. And so in ascending order, they are the following: 4, 8, 12, and 24. All right. Now the common factors of 18 and 24 would be what?
2, 3, 4, and 6.
How about 1?
1, 3, 6, 9, and 18.
1,
2, 3,
3, and
6.
6. The ones that are common, right?
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah. All right, so take this down for me.
I get all right. Mr. Petit, for that one, you have to put the curly bracket.
Yes, mom, put the curly brackets, please.
I got all of it.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, here they gave us the curly brackets, and this one they didn't bother to put it, and then they say less. So I guess they don't want it in the set because they didn't put it for us, so I don't think you have to put it in this case. But if you put it, it wouldn't be wrong because it's still a set. All right. All right. So B says write down the highest common factor of 18 and 24. How would we find that out? The highest common factor of 18 and 24.
6.
How you know that?
How do I know that?
Yeah.
I just look at the middle of the intersection to find the largest number.
Yes. Very good. You just look at the common factors and find the highest common factor, right? Literally. So you look at the common factors and then you find out which one is the biggest. That's the highest common factor, which is 6. Alright, so if you have it already, please send a photo of it, please. Thank you, Miss Alicia. Got a picture from you earlier. Thank you for Nagia Moxie. Thank you, Lakeisha Stubbs. Thank you, Ashnet. And thank you, Dylan. Alright, so the rest of you haven't sent anything. Make sure please send in your notes for me so I can see that you're following along with us. Thank you, Ricardo. Ricardo, I didn't see the first one. Hey, Ricardo, I don't see the first one. And that's especially for you. So I really need to see the first one. Thank you, Conrad. Alright. Okay, so let's go back to this paper. Okay, so yeah, this is the dangerous paper, so you gotta tread. Go ahead.
You could go back to that for me, please.
About you was missing something, eh? You right?
I have to write down the highest common factor. I didn't get that.
Oh, you didn't get that part. Okay.
I got it.
Ashnet, for your working, make sure put the division sign. I don't see the
Okay.
division. Yeah, okay, good. The division bar, rather. The fraction bar, that's what I meant to say. Very, very neat work, Conrad.
My guy.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're going back to this paper. Hopefully we can survive. Okay, we usually start from the back anyway. Where's my phone? Call it for me. Call my phone for me, please. Alright, so I think we could do this one. This is functions. I don't know if we've ever done functions. I mean, we kind of have done it, but I don't know if we have done functions before. So let's tackle it. This one is pretty simple. So let's do it. Let's do this one. So I'm gonna give you opportunity to try it on your own, briefly. And so try it. 1 minute.
Mr. Petit, you breaking up for some weird reason.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
I'm breaking up? Okay. 1 moment. The internet soon come back. Alright, so am I clear? Am I clear now?
Same issue.
Same, I'm still breaking up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Okay. We give it a try. Let's see what happens. Alright, am I clear now or still breaking up?
You sound better.
Okay, good. Alright, so any ideas on how to do this?
Is it substitution?
Yeah, it's just substitution. That's all they're asking us to do. So so this is the function f, this is the function g, and this is the function h. Okay? And so we basically gonna take 3 and plug it into where we see x here. We're gonna take a third and plug it in where we see x. We're gonna take -1 and plug it in where we see x. That's basically the idea. So f of -3 is gonna be equal to 7. So we're using this function, right? So it's gonna be equal to 7. Again, remember, we're using this function. So it's gonna be 7 minus, open bracket, what are we gonna put inside?
-3.
-3, very good. It's gonna be equal to 7. Negative times a negative is what?
Positive.
Positive. 3. So the answer is what?
10.
10. Very good.
10.
10. Next up, we have g of a third. So, can anyone tell me what we're going to do for this one?
Wherever we see g, we put x squared.
Or, no. Wherever we see x, we put a third. Okay. So, it's going to be equal to.
That's a square.
Okay, so it's going to be equal to a third. Sorry, a third to the second vowel. Do not put this comma. Do not put this comma when you're writing it. Just say f of -3 equals. Don't put this comma. So it's going to be equal to a third to the second vowel. And that's going to be equal to, well, we take the squared and we apply it to the numerator. Take the squared, we apply it to the denominator. So it's going to be 1 squared all over 3 squared. And 1 squared is what?
1.
1. Because that's just 1 times 1, just 1. And 3 squared is what?
9.
3 times 3, which is 9. And so this is right. And this is right. I don't know if y'all could see, right? But these are the 3 different types of equations. This equation, or this function really, is a type of function.
Linear.
Linear function. This is a linear function. This function.
Quadratic function.
Quadratic, because the highest power is 2. So quadratic, again, because the highest power is 2. And this one is, I don't know if anyone know what this one is, 5 to the power of x. We call that, anyone know? Anyone knows? 5 to the power of x. What do we call that? What type of function is that? Everybody's so quiet. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so it's gonna be exponential. Exponential function. Now we call it exponential function because of how it grows, right? It grows exponentially. If something grows exponentially, that means it grows very fast, right? And so if I were to graph the exponential function for you, it goes something like this. So it grows fast, like this, very fast. It's the exponential function. Okay, so we're basically gonna take the -1 and put it where we see x. So it's gonna be h of -1 equals to 5 to the power of what? -1. And so it's gonna be equal to 1 over 5.
Can it be just also 5 or it have to be 1 over 5?
Can it be what?
Just 5?
No, it's not, because it's -1. So it's not 5 to the 1. It's 5 to the -1, so that's different.
You could explain that over, please.
Oh, because we have 5 to the -1. And if, in fact, if anything to the power of -1 is, you flip it. So 6 to the -1 is 1 over 6. 7 to the -1 is what?
1 over 7.
1 over 7. So same thing. 5 to the -1 is 1 over 5. And if you want to express that as a decimal, it's 0.2.
Alright, okay.
Okay, so this is correct. Okay, so all we did was we substituted. Right? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Let me know when I can move it.
You can move it.
Alright, thank you. Alright, please send a photo for me, please. Okay, we're coming back to these. Coming back to these. We ain't gonna do it now. But they like to bring questions like these. Please become familiar with them. Maybe just have this paper up and on. Alright, so okay, so alright, so we just finished the sets question. You know how they go. Probability. It's right around.
Oh Lord.
Don't be scared. It's a nice
Oh, I never know how to do this one. No one in my class knew how to do this one. I really
Oh,
want to knock
okay.
out this one.
Okay. So we're gonna determine how to do it, eh? Okay, so the table below shows the results when a 3-sided spinner and a 6-sided spinner are spun together and the results were added. Okay? So, alright, so we have a 3-sided spinner and a 6-sided spinner. Okay? Anyone know what a spinner is?
Yeah,
Something.
not that easy.
Also,
Spinners, right? Okay, so let me show you. I hope they don't, not that type of spinners. Not this one. This close.
No,
No, this is not close. It's not this type of spinner.
Something you just could say a fidget spinner.
but the old time spinner.
I say the old time spinner. They don't have numbers on it. Yeah, good.
Mystery wheel.
Yeah, like these. So what basically is you the spinner has a certain number of numbers on it, and then you'd spin it, and then this is a good one. Yeah, this is a typical example. So you would spin this thing, and it'd have a certain number of we call it numbers on it, and so you would spin this arrow, and whatever number it land on is the number that is chosen. And so the idea here is that where are we? It's not 2016. I feel like I done this. Let me see something. Okay, so the idea here is that we have a 6-sided spinner, a spinner with 6 sides, and a 3-sided spinner, a spinner with 3 sides. Okay, so this spinner, which has 6 sides, has the numbers 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, and 5. And so if we were to, show that or represent that for you, we have this. We don't want this. My apologies. Let me go back to it. Okay, so as you'd imagine, let's go well. We have 2 spinners. The first one has 6 sides, so it's gonna be something like this, and 6 sides. So that only have 3 sides so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one has 6 sides. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna number it. So we know we have 1 here. So 1. Then we have a next 1. 1. Then we have a 2. 2. Then we have a 3. 3. Then we have another 3. 3. Then we have a 5. 5. Sync. Right? And so basically you would get your little arrow thing, and you would, spin it and see, which one it land on. And then you have another one, another spinner, on the green spinner. We'll color it green. And it only has 3 sides, so 3 sides. So it's gonna be 2, right? 3 and 3. Okay, are we clear on that?
What you were saying, Sadiq, I didn't catch that.
Are you clear on that? On the 2 spinners?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically you have to spin it and see what number you're gonna land on. Now, one has 6 sides, one has 3 sides. So what they're saying is that the table below shows the results when the 3-sided spin and the 6-sided spin are spun together and the results are added. So here, let's say for example, here we land on what number? Let me spin it.
1.
We land on 1, right? And here we land on what?
2.
2, good. So this is showing us the result when we get 1 here and we get 2 here. When we add them, what is our answer?
3.
3, good. So what they're saying is that if perchance we had 1 for the first spinner and 2 for the second spinner, then the answer, or the sum really, would be 3. Okay? And if we had 1 for the first spinner and 3 for the second spinner, our result would be 4. And if we had 1 for the first spinner and 3 for the second spinner, our result would be 4. And again, someone's mic is on. Please make sure your mic is muted when you're not speaking. And if perchance we had 1 for the first spinner and 2 for the second, we would get 3. If we had 2 for the first spinner and 3 for the second spinner, our result would be 5, and so on. I think you get the picture. Like, or you understand what this is saying, right? Or I need to explain it some more. Do we understand what it's saying?
You can explain it a bit more.
Spin a little bit more. Okay, so again, if perchance we get 2 for the first spinner and 2 for the second spinner, the result would be 4. If we get 2 for the first spinner and 3 for the second spinner, the result would be 5. If we got 3 for the first spinner and 2 for the second spinner, the result would be 5. Like, what I mean is, if we spin this thing, if we move this thing and spin it, and we got 3, and then we move this one and spin it, and we got 3 again, the sum is going to be what? 6.
6.
Similarly, if we got 3 for the first spinner, and we spin it now, and we got 3, and then for the second spinner we spin it and we got 3, the result would still be 6. So this is showing us all of the possible sums we could get with the 2 spinners. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, alright. So the first question says, what is the most common total? What total shows up the most?
6.
Mm-hmm.
6.
6 shows up the most. Because 6 shows up a lot of times. 6 shows up here. 6 shows up 4 times here. At least 4 times. 5. Wait.
And before.
4, eh?
Yeah.
No, 5.
No, 4.
Yeah, 4. Because 4 shows up 5 times.
Yeah, 4 shows up 1,
6 times.
4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, 4 shows up 5 times. More than 6, because 6 only shows up 4. So 4 is the most common.
5 times 2.
Say it again.
5 shows up 5 times 2.
5. No, we're talking about 5 only shows up. Okay, so 5 shows up here, 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 and here. We can't count these ones on top. So 5 only shows up 4 times. But 4 shows up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 is the most common total. Okay.
Miss Petit,
Yes, mom. Go ahead.
ain't 3 6 times?
Say it again.
Isn't there 3 6 times?
We have 3, 1. You say 3 6 times?
Yes, sir.
No. 3 is here and here. Just those twice.
What about where it's a 2 3 3 for the
You mean
first
this?
row?
You mean this?
Yeah.
No, we don't count these. These are the ones that combine. You only count the ones that... That's a very good point that you raised. You only count these ones. You only count these ones.
Okay.
So we can keep the slide there a little longer, please.
A little longer. Okay, it's good now. That's what you meant?
I dozed off like for a quick second. It felt like 3 minutes, and I woke up and we somewhere else.
Yeah, we're on another planet. Alright, so let me move this.
Hold on, Mr. D.
One moment. Let me allow this person to come in. Jonathan. Jonathan the Great. So So the most common total is 4, because 4 appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Again, we can't count these numbers on the sidelines because these numbers are basically telling you what's happening. They're telling you if you add 1 and 2, you get 3. If you add 2 and 3, you get 5. If you add 3 and 3, you get 6. So these numbers are not a part of the sums, right? They're not a part of the sums. So we only count the ones that are in the clear white box.
Mr. Petit, this question come after the functions?
No. We had like 5 other questions before that.
I don't believe it, man.
You don't believe it? Yeah, we had like 5. I gotta let
You
Miss
did?
Cooper send you the notes for them. Okay?
Are you being serious?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, this is the only question.
Okay, so I only close my eyes for 2 minutes then.
Yeah.
Hi.
Alright. Thank you, Miss Stubbs. Thank you, Miss Rackley. Y'all are good students, not sleeping. I mean, I'd be boring, but I know I'd be that boring.
It wasn't you, man, and you know it. Your voice waked me up. It's just I was beginning to daydream and you woke me up, so we good.
Yeah, I hear you. But I just don't make you sleep, so it's like I don't know. I don't know what I could do to liven up this class. I don't know. I have to get a band, start playing every time we got a question. We get a question. Right? I don't know.
No, man, long day. It's been a long day, man. No.
Yeah. I mean, I need to stop teaching math because maths is a subject everybody hates maths. It's fall asleep during maths class. I
That's yeah. I
I
like
think
math.
it's long.
I need
I have
to.
a hard relationship with math. I like math, but I just
I need to teach family life. Also, I need to teach family life. Everybody like family life.
At the time that
Everybody like family
Yeah,
life.
time down for math.
Mr. Petit, this
Yeah.
class is the best here. Honestly, maths is. I actually learned something in maths now, so.
Yeah, that's what you always say. Until they fall asleep in the class. Hey,
I just get you under the bus every class, hey.
every single class. Everybody. All right. Yeah, so I need to start teaching. What I don't teach, I need to start teaching. What's that class name? Probably music or something.
now the student don't cover that.
You should cheat now.
That's more exciting than math.
Definitely fall asleep.
I definitely leave it if you come in no music.
I never dug a class. It was my duck music.
At least you're asleep in the class.
Yeah, boom boom.
All right. Okay, so let's continue on. Yeah, math is just a subject that needs a lot of time. You can't really run away from it. It just needs a lot of time. I mean, we do so much hours of math, and we still didn't cover much ground. I mean, we still a lot more to go. You know what I mean? And we do 12 hours every week. So, I mean, so still a lot more. So, it's one of those subjects, man. A lot of practice is needed. Okay, so how many possible totals are there? Right? So in order to figure out the number of possible totals, we have to add the numbers that are in the clear boxes. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there are 18 possible totals that we could possibly have. 18. Okay? Any questions on how we got to 18? Thank you, Lakeisha.
So we wouldn't count the set on top, right?
No, we don't count the sets on top. No.
I wasn't like paying attention for the D part. But how did you got 18?
Wow.
I got 18. I got 18 by adding this. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh.
Yeah, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, remember, we don't count the ones in the black, right? Only the ones in the clear white.
I'm not gonna lie, but the first time I did this, I couldn't tell the difference between the shaded ones and the not shaded
Oh,
ones.
you can tell the difference. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
I just figuring out.
yeah,
I feel cockeyed.
yeah, that is a difference. Okay, so all right. Okay, so can we move on?
Yes, sir.
All right, good stuff. Next up is, so I don't know if anyone can remember, but what we just basically did was we did the sample space. And we determined the total sample space. I don't know if y'all can remember that term when we did probability, when we started off with probability. But yeah, this is the total sample space that we have determined right now. All the possible possibilities, right? That is possible to get when we spin these two tops. All the possible sums. That's what they give us. And the thing is, they're nice to you all. They actually give you all the sample space. And all you have to do is count the number, right? That's very generous of them. In the questions we did, we had to actually create our sample space. I don't know if y'all can remember that. Anyone can remember that? That was a bit wild back.
What you say? I remember that. What you to ask?
I'm asking if anyone can remember how we had to create our sample space. Remember when we was doing the dice, and we had two dice, and we had to determine. I think it was 36 outcomes, and
Yes.
yeah, we had to
It hurt
determine.
my hand.
Yeah, if we get 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 3 and 1 and
Yeah.
yeah, that was the sample space that we determined. Here again, we have the sample space that they give it to us in this question. All right, so they're very generous to you all in the Bgcse exam, compensating for the fact that they don't allow you all to use the calculator. So, that's the thing. So you hear that, Miss Cooper?
Why, Mr. Bitty?
I'm surprised Nancy ain't say nothing. Nancy, that was the time for you to get in and say, amen.
What are we talking about?
I said that they gave them the sample space, compensating for the fact that they didn't allow them to use the calculator.
I wouldn't call that fair, but
These questions are straightforward. Fair. Sure. It's a win-win.
It's a win-win, not even a win-lose. Alright, what is the probability of getting the most common total? Wow. This is straightforward, I ain't gonna lie. Honestly, they tell you, first of all, they told us what is the common total. Then we figure out how many possibilities are there. So the question is, what is the probability of getting the most common total?
Okay.
Say it again.
1218.
12, very good. Wow, they got it. I'm so proud of you all.
Wait, what it was?
No,
Eighteen.
Lionel.
It was
You simplified as 2 over 9.
Thank you, Miss. Probability of the most common total. I want to like with Bgcse, they set you right up for the answer. Like you don't have to do no work. Like you just have to, I don't know, just read it and follow along and they'll give you all.
I simplify it.
Right, Miss Nancy?
I agree. I don't know what I agree into, but I agree. Love my vote.
All right. The probability of the most common total is going to be. Remember when we do probability, we do the total possibilities is the denominator, right? So the total possibilities was how much?
18.
18. Be careful. The total possibility is 18 because it's 18 of these. If you count all of this together, it's 18. Okay. And the most common total is the number that's the most common total is the one that's going to go on top. And
It's
so
4.
4. Very good. Lionel, did you see that?
yes, sir.
Okay, good. Whew. Very good. I almost fainted just now.
So you don't like
Go ahead.
don't want to reduce or something?
Yeah, we're gonna reduce it right now.
Oh.
All right, Miss Cooper, we already reduced long time, right? So 4 divided by 2 is what?
2.
2.
And 18 divided by 2 is
9.
9. And so the probability of getting the most common total is
2 over 9.
2 over 9. Very good. So that's what you put on your test, right, Lionel?
No, I got that wrong because I didn't reduce.
Oh, but you got the 4 over 18 though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes,
good.
sir.
That's good.
I still want to get that wrong because my teacher will round me and say, you should have reduced.
So she gave you wrong because you didn't reduce?
I'm going to get it wrong because I didn't reduce.
Wow. It's really strict.
Not even half?
I don't know. I don't even think she's give half.
1 point at least to get the right answer.
Yeah, at least you got the right answer. I saw that.
At least you tried, Lionel.
Yeah. Kennedy, I love the camaraderie. The pat on the back. The virtual pat on the back.
Because I went through that before. The simplest things I get wrong. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. Alright. So the most common total is 2 over 9. The probability of getting the most common total is 2 over 9. Next up is well, okay, so it's the probability of getting 9. So one the probability of getting 9.
Two?
0. None.
The probability of getting 9.
0.
Someone says
0 over 18.
0 over 18. And 0 over 18 is what?
0.
0. So the probability of getting 9, remember that 9, if we look here carefully, 9 is not even a part of this. The highest number is what?
8.
8. So the probability of getting a 9 is going to be equal to 0 over 18. The reason why I say 0 is because there is no opportunity for us to get 9, right? That event can't happen. So the number of elements that is inside that event, all right, is 0. And so 18, we say 18 because that's the total number in our sample space, the total number of possibilities that we have. And so we have 0 divided by 18, which is equal to 0. Now, if the probability of an event is 0, what does that tell us about the event?
It's impossible. It's impossible. Can't happen.
Wow, y'all make me proud. Very good. It's impossible. Impossible. What do we say if the probability of an event is 1?
Definitely possible.
It's more than possible. It's what?
Most certain.
Certain. I like that word, certain. The probability of an event is 50%. What does that tell you? Or a half.
It could happen.
More than it could happen.
A chance.
A 50% chance of coming, of happening.
And a 50% chance of not occurring. Okay? So there's 50% likely that it happen, or 50% likely that it not happen. Okay? Alright, so next up we have probability of more than 6. Probability of more than 6. So we want the probability of
Okay, I should get this one right. 3.
6. 3?
3? 3 over 18.
Oh,
Okay.
so you can't just say 3. More than 6.
1 over 6.
Oh, we got the results. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Probability of more than 6 is going to be, well,
You're so confused.
7, 8, and 8. So it's going to be 3.
Oh, I didn't get 2 because I thought you.
That's what I mean.
You thought what?
I thought you only come to number 1, so I get 2. I can't figure out if you get 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you count the numbers because this is the total possibilities. So yeah, we have to count 8 twice because in getting 18 we had to count 8 twice. Remember?
Oh.
Yeah. So 3 over 18, which is gonna give us what?
1 over 6.
Divide top and bottom by 3.
This is so painful. The 1.
3 divided by 3 is
1.
1 divided by 3 is
6.
6. Very good. 1 over 6. It's like taking candy from a baby.
This Bgcse paper?
Yeah.
There ain't no way that Bgcse has E.
Oh, Mr. D.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Yes, sir.
I have a question. I'll get 3 over 18.
Okay. The reason is because they want the probability of getting more than 6. And so if we look at the numbers that are more than 6, we see that it's 7, 8, and 8. There are only 3 numbers that are more than 18. So we're going to put the 3 on top. And the 18 we get because the total possibility is, if we add all of these numbers together, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's 18 of these numbers here. That's how we got the 18. Now, what we did is we just reduce it by dividing top and bottom by 3. you get 1/6.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like taking candy from a baby. Right, Miss Cooper?
Yes, sir.
All right. Right, Nancy? Nancy probably on a second sleep.
Use run right out.
You in the second now.
I wanted a 2 minute Mr. G. Don't hang it over me, man. You know, I just laying back and doing the laying back and just laying back all over.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. I know what, if I boring, I ain't gonna take it offensive. You
The
know?
thing it wasn't you, it was me.
The subject is be boring. You know, I guess.
No, don't do that.
I hear you. But you sleep. You whole sleep in the class.
Stop that, please. Like, why don't you jump on Cooper cases like Kennedy? Like,
So they're my good students. They're my good students.
Hold on. I was trying to defend you.
Kennedy don't sleep in my class.
We trying to help her, but she told it on us.
You see how life is, Miss Cooper? Boy.
I see this.
It's be your own virtual students, man.
My goodness.
Cooper, come on.
Mr. PT.
Yes,
Bring that
sir.
up once.
You guys always give us like normal.
Bring it up again.
Say it again.
Why always give us like the normal like numbers?
Oh,
But
the
they give us normal.
Oh, okay. What is this? What is this in Roman numerals anyway?
That's 4.
That's 4. Yeah, that's 4. It's interesting that you bring that up because I had the same question like that in class today.
Wow. Today?
Yeah.
Oh, what grade
The student was asking me, how in the world this is 4? 5 minus 1. You know? And they still saying that they didn't understand. You know.
I'm seeing this. C is 100 or 50. No.
C, yes, C, capital C exists. Okay, so what is the probability of getting a prime number? So let's count all our primes. It's gonna be
3/18.
1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7.
What about third? Oh, never mind.
But you can't reduce this time, right?
No, you can't reduce this time.
7 and 11. I mean, my life.
The probability of getting a prime number is going to be equal to, remember what goes on top?
7.
Mr.
BT,
Yeah,
you know what's crazy?
One moment, because there are 7 of these numbers, and then divided over the total. Go ahead, Lionel.
I was saying, it's crazy that it's almost 8 o'clock.
Serious?
Yes.
Wow. Yet you know your time wrong, right? You have to adjust it. Remember? You have to go an hour back. Remember? Because time changed.
That's petite.
So remember, make sure I adjust your time, okay? I know y'all haven't adjusted yet. Make sure I adjust it. So it's actually 6:43, right?
Not tonight.
Never.
6:43. I don't know. Y'all have to change your time. Make sure I do that. I have to do it to mines too. So that's why it's saying 7:43. I have to change it too.
Don't even fix your time, bro.
Yeah, I need to fix it. I know I need to fix it. I know.
Mr. Petit, you still have the 1 hour faster time?
Say it again.
You still have that 1 hour.
I still have it. Yes, I have to change it.
Oh, okay.
That means 8.
Yeah.
Okay, I wonder where you live.
Yeah. I need to see. I have the wrong time zone, so I have to switch it. So So it's only 6:44. Okay, you don't mind that. That's fine. Something else.
Ever since time changed, Mr. Petit getting all happy.
Mr. Petit, you go back there.
All right. Yeah, I could go back. We have plenty of time left, so I could go back. Oh my.
Okay.
No problem. Okay, so 15 minutes left. So what could we do before English? We should end on a good note. Something to tax your mind. Oh, we didn't finish DSA. Let's finish that. So calculate the value of x for which f of x equals to 15, and for which g of x equals to 36, and h of x equals to 125. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to go back to our functions. So let's go back to them. I remember what they were. So they're gonna guide us. And you know, even before we do it, you know, the algebraic way, I just want us to think about it, you know, without even calculating it, just think about it. And that should give us an understanding of how to do these things. So let me show you what I mean. So, and you all know it immediately. What they're saying is, so we have this function, 7 minus x, right? So they're basically saying, what must x be such that when I put it inside this equation, I get 15. In other words, give me a number that I can subtract by, so I can subtract 7 with to get 15. Think about it. Give me a number that I could subtract 7 with to get 15. Put the thing for it. Give me a number that I could subtract 7 with to get 15.
It's 20.
No, if we put 20, it's going to be 7 minus 20, and that's going to give us 7 minus 20, that's going to give us
22? 13.
That's going to give us 13. We don't want that. Give me a number that I could subtract 7 with, and I get 15.
22 minus 7, you get 15, right?
No, I said 7 minus the number.
Oh.
So 7 minus the number, give me 15. Seven minus a number gives me 15. What is that number?
7?
7 minus 7 is 0.
22?
I see you saying
no, 7 minus 22 is not positive 15. I want positive 15.
Negative 22.
No, negative 22 is not going to work because negative 22.
You have a negative there if you add incorporate another net. Oh, never mind.
No. Nancy getting spicy on me. But it's not 22. Okay.
I realized, sorry, I realized just now what I was saying.
Good. Anything else? Come on, people. Wow.
Let's say 23.
Y'all, you know y'all exam next month, right?
Oh, damn.
Is it 7 minus negative 8?
Huh? Wow, if I can give you a prize right now.
So basically, hold on, we get it. Just hold on. Because we know what we're saying, right? But this negative thing is showing us off.
The underdog. Wow, Miss Rackley. Wow. They underestimated you, Miss Rackley. They underestimated you. Wow. Very good. Negative 8. Wow. That's a future doctor, you know, Miss Rackley. And yes. she might change the major to mark.
Why it's negative 8?
Because.
Oh, negative and negative. It's positive. Oh.
I get 8. And I know it's negative 5.
Depressing.
Yeah, wow.
But
So
this is a positive
thank
though.
you.
Wait, I confused now.
so okay, if we have a negative 8, right? So it's negative open bracket negative 8, right?
Oh.
And so what happened is negative and a negative is negative times a negative is
A positive.
Positive.
yeah, and then so we get positive 8, which is what?
15.
15.
50.
Wow, Miss Reckley, how did you get that? Oh, here it is.
Talking. I just
Oh, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. You okay there?
No, sir.
I hear
No, sir.
I really wish I could have one. Okay, so, but it would have been very nice to hear how she got that. I just can't hear her now. Probably because of Wi-Fi issues.
Oh,
What?
you didn't hear me?
No, we can hear you. We hear you now.
Oh, no, because I was just thinking about random numbers in my head. Then I said, I wonder if it's negative 8 or whatever. It was just random numbers coming in my head. And then I got 15.
Wow, it's just random. Wow. Okay. All right. Wow.
I said it was random.
Okay. Wow. But it was correct, so that's important. Hey there, Nancy. It was correct. Anyway, as I move along with my merry day. So f of x is gonna. So let's do the algebraic way, right? So if we do not want to use random, and we want to know for sure that our answer is gonna be right, we could use algebra. Okay. So f of x equals 15. So we know that f of x is 7 minus x. So that's gonna be 7 minus x. Sorry. 7 minus x. This equals to 15. Okay, 7 minus x equals to 15. And so what we do here is we send over the 7. That's just going to be equal to negative x equals to 15 minus 7. And so we have a negative x. What is 15 minus 7?
8.
8. And so at this point, what do we do? At this point, what do we do? Hello?
I make it into a positive, the x.
Divide both sides by negative 1. And so this will be negative becomes positive. And so we get that x is equal to what is 8 divided by negative 1?
8. Negative 8.
Negative 8. Negative 8. And so hopefully you can see the power of math, right? And the power of these equations. Like, we literally could get the correct answer without randomness, right? We know for sure this is the right answer just by using the principles of math. You know, very, very, very nice to see that.
actually have a question.
Go ahead.
It's not like related to math, but which subject is easier? Like for science, like which three is it? Like biology, physics, or chemistry?
So we have biophysics and chemistry. And you want my
Mm-hmm.
opinion on which is easiest?
Yes.
I think the best person to ask that would be either Alicia or Nancy. Let me hear their opinion. Let me start with Alicia. Which is easier, biochem or physics?
I see she had left a little while ago.
Oh, she left.
didn't back.
Nancy, what do you think? Biochem or physics? Which is easiest?
Bio, because it's the basics. Chemistry is a little difficult because it's like chemicals, so biology.
Yeah, I would say biology.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say biology too. Because biology is most familiar. And the reason why I say it's most familiar because it's an extension of health science and general science. And so when you enter biology, at first it'll feel like, wow, I did this before. This just general science and health science on steroids. So I definitely say bio and chem is easier.
Thank you.
It's more
I was really thinking about it like a few weeks ago. I was thinking of physics and never mind.
But now, to be honest, right? It depends on you, but I think it depends on the person. Especially between physics and chemistry. I know in high school, for me, which one was easier? Physics or chemistry? That's hard to say. They was going tag teaming. I can't say. I love to think about it just to really tell you which one is easier for me between physics and chemistry. I can't remember which one is easier. I cannot remember. But physics involves a lot of a lot of math too. So if you like math, then you wouldn't find physics to be too bad. But physics is very conceptual, man. I would definitely go with chemistry with being easier because chemistry was so much more straightforward. Like, just as more straightforward, man. Especially when we had to do that electromagnetism thing. I couldn't understand for the life of me when they're saying something about elbow bring up and down and the force go in the next direction. I was so lost. So, yeah, I would go with chemistry then physics last. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. PT.
Go ahead.
Is it really true that grade 10 is the easiest grade? Because there's a lot of people and adults I know saying grade 10 was the easiest grade.
Grade 10 is easy. You know why grade 10 is easy? Because like grade 10 was easy though. I like grade 10 was the get off year.
Was grade, not is mine.
It's still easy. It's still easy. It's still the easiest. When I say was, I mean for me it was it was so easy. Grade 10 was so easy. It was chill because it's basically a review of the stuff you learn in grade 9 with added stuff. They don't really put it onto you.
Almost give me an example.
Grade 10 was easy, man. That was the year I that was really the get off year though.
That's when you make it 4.0.
No, actually I made my highest in grade 11. Interestingly enough, that's when I got more serious. But
wow,
he was motivated in 11th grade.
Yeah, I was more serious in 11th grade. So but I never got below a 3.5 though. I ain't saying I was
3.50.
Yeah, what I say get off, I mean like I was in the 3.50s.
Oh.
Yeah.
I could.
And then grade 11, that's when I started to get the 3.80 and the 3.90 and stuff like that. But yeah, grade 10 was chill, man. I wasn't even grade 10 was chill. Grade 10 was chill.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is interesting because this one is saying, and I think y'all could get it. Give me the value of x that would give you 36 when you square it. Like Give me a number. When you square it, you get 36.
6.
6. Yeah.
6.
Yeah. So we see immediately how to get it. So that's how we do this question. So I wrote this question wrong. It's supposed to be 36. 36. Yeah. So remember what is g of x? G of x, the function g of x, we saw before the problem is
X squared.
x squared. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to replace g of x with x squared. And so it's equal to 36. And then at this point, in order to get our answer, what we must do to both sides?
Divide?
No.
Oh.
What must we do to both sides? My Bgcse people, one should know the answer to this.
Wait, combine it?
Should know the answer.
No, never.
Square root.
Say it again. I heard someone say it.
The square root.
It's the square root. Very good. Her name is Cooper. Okay, so when you take the square root of both sides, honestly, it becomes plus or minus, to be honest. So these cancel out, so x is going to be equal to the square root of 36. And we must put the plus or minus, because the reason why we say put plus or minus, because think about it. Negative 6 could work, because negative 6 times negative 6 is still what?
Negative 36.
Positive 36.
Or negative 36, my God.
And then positive 6 could work. So 6 times 6 is 36. So when we say positive or negative, we're basically saying, hey, the positive one could work and the negative one could work. Alright? And so what is the square root of 36?
6.
6.
Okay. Now not 666 now. Next thing you know, y'all say, Mr. Petit giving us the mark of the beast. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying the answer is 6, okay? Alright? Don't carry me to court. Alright. Alright, so that's why this is 2 points, because we have two solutions. Yeah. Positive 6 and negative 6. Alright.
And for 2 points?
Yeah, for 2 points. Yeah, man. What you want? You wanted them to give you 5 points, Miss?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
5 points.
5 points. Wow. It's a big discovery that 6 times 6 is 36. Woo. Trophy.
And it's 8 o'clock already.
Remember Lion, I'm trying to get adjust your time, sir. Adjust your time.
It's 8 o'clock.
Adjust your time.
Oh my goodness, 2 minutes. Wow.
Adjust your time, Lion. Okay.
It's language demo.
So,
Oh, I saw.
so let's do this last one before I go. Because I don't want to leave it for tomorrow. Things get foggy by tomorrow. I can't believe tomorrow is Thursday though. Wow.
We're going too fast now.
Yeah. Any y'all school participated in the sports day that happened?
BISS or something like that.
That happened just recently.
For real?
It's BISS.
I don't know what it was, but all I know is our school clean up. Yeah.
Oh, this is so.
Our school did well. New Horizon Academy. We did well.
Okay.
Yeah, we clean up. The only reason why we didn't win is because, I mean, not win, but the only reason why we didn't get high is because we didn't do any field events.
Yeah, y'all come forward. I could see that. I could smell that sort of.
With no field events, we still did well. Okay. Our relay team was kicking it. So sorry, Kingsway. Anyone else go Kingsway? Kingsway participated in that.
I do.
Yeah.
Who said I do? Who said I do? Someone said I do. Who has go Kingsway? H of x equals 125. Yeah, if you go to Kingsway, sorry, your school, our school kind of, defeated your school in relays.
That's why your school is all that, Miss Lucy.
sorry, we kind of defeated you. We kind of demolished you all that.
At least they're in Aquinas, so
we kind of demolished you all in the relays. Sorry, that's how life is sometimes. Sorry.
I honestly forgot Aquinas existed.
what they is and recent.
Say it again, Lionel. Lionel say I forgot it even existed. Alright, so H of x. Lionel, you wrong, you cruel. Lionel say I didn't forget the thing even exists. Wow. Alright, so H of x is going to give us H of x equals 125. Now, the thing about this one is this, right? And you could kind of answer it yourself in your mind. Like 5 to the power of x, right? What number I could raise 5 to give me 125? What number I could raise 5 to give me 125?
To the third power?
The third power. Yeah, the third power. Okay, so we know the answer is 3, so we just gotta prove it. So H of x is going to be what, 5 to the power of x? Right? This equals to 125. But we know what 125 is though. Isn't 125 5 to the third power?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And so we have 5x. Remember the rule. If the bases are same, then the powers are
Cut it off.
Equal.
Equal. Again, if the bases are the same, so we had the bases are the same, 5 and 5, and the powers are equal. So the powers here is x and 3. So that means we could say directly that x equals to 3. Okay. So this is our answer.
Wow.
Okay. Okay, sorry for going over our what do we call it? Our
Language class.
Please forgive me for that. But if you have to leave right now and you're done with maths, please send in your math notes. For those of us who are not doing English. Thank you, Lionel. Thank you, Lionel. Yeah.
Ni nada.
Nada.
Come in Spanish.
Hey, nada. I like Dora. When's the last time you watched Dora?
8 years ago.
Dora don't mind Dora. Dora still a celebrity, making all the money.
You mean in quarters, right?
Does that thing still come on? Come on.
They got the teenager one that looks stink.
The deplorably. Oh my.
But see, I know it's in part of class, right?
Uh-huh.
So when you use the school, which teaching do you hate the most?
I hate the teacher. I hated them all. Wow, they hate. Hate is a very strong word. I didn't really hate my teachers like that. I was a nerd basically, so the only teacher I remember that I really didn't, the teachers who I really didn't like was teachers who tell us we can't talk in class. So I remember this teacher, we couldn't talk at all in the class, at all. And the ironic thing is I do the same thing that my students do. So I knew if I was a student I would hate me. But yeah, she had this rule that you couldn't talk, and she used to beat us with this rule, with this stick ruler. But interestingly enough, she is our math teacher and our homeroom teacher at the same time. And in grade 8, I took the Bgcse and got an 8. And so even though she was strict, she still helped me a lot. So, still is a good teacher after all. But very strict. Oh my.
Is she alive?
Yeah, she's alive. And interestingly enough, I went back and spoke to her. She's alive. I thought that she was much more taller when I realized that me and her almost the same height. I was like, wow, I always thought you was tall. In my mind, I said that. In my mind. But she always seemed tall, but she wasn't even tall like that.
Excuse me,
Alright.
Mr. PT.
Yes, sir.
People in like your school never used to like pick on you or something like that.
Not like that. Like I say, I was a nerd, so I never used to associate with them like that. So it wasn't really it wasn't really on.
Did they use you for answers?
Yeah, they try until I tell them no.
You actually say no?
In the exam, I remember in the exam, this guy, he sit right next to me. For the hey.
I get recorded, so I had the rest of the story.
Oh, okay. Don't worry, listen to the recording.
Wow, pretty. Wow.
Listen to the recording.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm feeling ever cool. So yeah, there's this guy. He tried to look at my paper for answers, and then I told him, "No, I ain't giving no answers," and he's mad at me from then.
Should have studied.
And he still remember that. I remember we was in college, and he still remember. See, I was like, remember when I tried to look at your paper? He still remember. Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't gonna. My thing is, if I study so hard, I used to study so hard, and then you gonna look at my paper, boy, I can't do that.
I would do it for $3 though.
Say $3. Come on, Kennedy, that's so cheap. Sell yourself that low? Come on, man.
Per page then.
Say per page. No, man, don't sell yourself like that. Don't sell yourself. Alright, so can't you say $3 per page? Anyway. Okay, so let's read this exercise. Vocabulary words from this. And actually understanding, because I know these comprehension papers is pretty deep. So see if you could actually understand what's going on. Hopefully next week we could start going into actual past papers, especially paper 1. I want to go into paper 1 because you also have the right. And so what I would want to do, and that's what I could do tonight. What I'll do is I'm gonna leave you with a homework to write an essay, and what I'll do is I'll select some essays that I feel I need to review on and actually review it in class to let y'all know how did it go. I think that'll be a good exercise for us. So after this, go through paper 1 with you all, and then set an assignment to write an essay, and then in the class go over the essay and show what should be done and what shouldn't be done. I think that'll be a good exercise for y'all to get some good practice with language. The good thing is that we've been doing a lot of reading, and so hopefully you can go back into these exercises, go back into these things and pick out some good vocabulary, see how they're used and stuff like that. And hopefully seeing this level of writing, you can also apply it to your own work. This is a good. Some people ask me, well, Mr. Petit, what could we read? We've been reading are good exercises to read again and again, just to increase the vocabulary. They're even better than the newspaper, if you ask me. There's some really good passages we've been reading over the past several weeks, and so I really like these passages. Let's read them over, get the vocabulary words out of them. If you find a word that you don't know, review it, and then prepare yourselves for writing this essay All right. Okay.
Yes, that is good.
Picking our prompt, or we had to pick it?
I'm picking it.
Man.
I am picking it.
Why though? I just want to see.
That's the thing. Yeah, you ain't gonna use the one of the essay that you write or one of your friends write from long time ago.
Yeah, but I really have to write an S. You want me to write the next one?
Yeah, write the next one. It's called homework. And we can review it in class. That'll be nice to see it. Okay, so let's read this passage. All right. Let's read this passage and quickly go over the answers. So we have enough time to go over our essay and I can pick the topics we want. Okay. It's not gonna be long because you're only gonna have 300 words for Bgcse and 500 words for Bgcse.
How much was how much have this essay?
This one?
That's all.
This passage? I don't know. I definitely ain't gonna count it, but I know. Okay.
You say how much words we have to write in BJCSC?
Bgcse is 500. Bjc is 300. 350.
Well, so they just added 200 more then.
Yeah.
Model.
It's not long.
I mean, that don't sound too bad. That don't sound too bad.
It's certainly not long. I'm telling you. I mean, in my exam, I had to take out. When I was writing the essay, I had to take out words. So it wasn't. It's if you have a lot to say, trust me, 500 words is nothing.
Oh my God.
Nothing. Trust me. All right. So let's read the following. It says, this passage is adapted from Joshua Fourier. More walking with Einstein. Anyone knows Einstein?
He was the smartest man in the world.
Doesn't know who's Albert Einstein.
Yes, and this apple.
Well, he was a very prominent scientist. And
A math scientist.
math, physics, science, really math and physics, to be honest.
Good at everything.
Moonwalking. That idea comes from, it's made famous by who?
Michael Jackson himself.
Michael Jackson.
Yes, sir.
King of rock, they say. Both of these persons are deceased, by the way. The art and science of remembering everything.
But
Yes, mom.
Einstein made Frankenstein.
If he make a Frankenstein? No, not that I know of.
He wasn't that smart, Destiny now.
Say if he would you say he make what? Frankenstein?
Yes, sir.
No.
I just asked.
No. Okay, let's go. So in 2000, a neuroscientist, I like this vocabulary word, at University College London, named Eleanor Mager wanted to find out what effect, if any, or that driving around the labyrinth streets of London might have on cabbies' brains. When she brought 16 taxi drivers into a cab and examined their brains in an MRI scan, she found one surprising and important difference. Someone's mic on. Please mute your mic if you're not speaking. They're not asking.
It's always Destiny, buddy.
It's yeah, right. Okay. So when she brought 16 taxi drivers into her lab and examined their brains in an MRI scanner, she found one surprising and important difference. The right posterior hippocampus, a part of the brain known to be involved in spatial navigation, was 7% larger than normal in the cabbies. A small but very significant difference. Margaret concluded that all of that wayfinding around London had physically altered the gross structure of their brains. Wow. The more years the cabbie had been on the road, the more pronounced the effect. The brain is a mutable organ, capable within limits of reorganizing itself and readapting to new kinds of sensory input, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. It had long been thought that the adult brain was incapable of spawning new neurons, that while learning caused synapses to rearrange themselves and new links between brain cells to form, the brain's basic anatomical structure was more or less static. Myers' study suggested that the old inherited wisdom was simply not true. After a groundbreaking study of London cabbies, Margaret decided to turn her attention to mental athletes. She teamed up with Elizabeth and Valentine and John Windlin, authors of the academic monograph Superior Memory, to study 10 individuals who had finished near the top of the World Memory Championship. They wanted to find out if memorizers' brains were like the London cabbies, structurally different from the rest of ours, or if they were somehow just making better use of their memory capabilities than we all possess. The researchers put both the mental athletes and a group of matched control subjects into MRI scanners and asked them to memorize 3-digit numbers, black and white photographs of people's faces, and magnified images of snowflakes while their brains were being scanned. Meiger and her team thought it was possible that they might discover anatomical differences in the brains of memory champs. Evidence that their brains had somehow reorganized themselves in the process of doing all that intensive remembering. But when the researchers reviewed the imaging data, not a single significant structural difference turned up. The brains of the mental athletes appeared to be indistinguishable from those of the control subjects. What's more, on every single test of general cognitive ability, the mental athletes' scores came back well within the normal range. The memory champs weren't smarter, and they didn't have special brains. But there was one telling difference between the brains of the mental athletes and the controlled subjects. When the researchers looked at which parts of the brain were lighted up when the mental athletes were memorizing, they found that they were activating entirely different circuitry. According to the functional MRIs, fMRIs, regions of the brain that were less active in the control subjects seemed to be working in overdrive for the mental athletes. Surprisingly, when the mental athletes were learning new information, they were engaging several regions of the brain known to be involved in 2 specific tasks: visual memory and spatial navigation, including the same right posterior hippocampal region the London cabbies had enlarged with all their daily wayfinding. At first glance, this wouldn't seem to make any sense. Why would mental athletes be conjuring images in their mind's eyes when they were trying to learn 3-digit numbers? Why should they be navigating like London cabbies when they are supposed to be remembering the shapes of snowflakes? Meiger and her team asked the mental athletes to describe exactly what was going on through their minds as they memorized. The mental athletes said they were consciously converting the information they were being asked to memorize into images, and distributing those images along familiar spatial journeys. They weren't doing this automatically or because it was an inborn talent they had nurtured since childhood. Rather, the unexpected patterns of neural activity that Meiger's fMRIs turned up were the results of training and practice. Okay, so how do you feel about that passage? General thoughts?
Honestly, boring.
Boring? What? Wow.
Very.
Very boring? No.
I agree.
I agree.
It wasn't too bad.
Thank you. It wasn't too bad. Jonathan, Linus, I was asleep. Wow.
It was okay.
It was okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure I take it now.
Okay, what did you learn from the passage? Something you learned from it besides falling asleep. What did you learn? What did you get from it? Memorizing.
I did a study.
Uh-huh.
like how the taxi drivers were having an MRI, and they saw. I think I don't know if it's about a good thing, but I can say it's a bad thing. What happened to them? And the neuroscientist getting all his buddies, and it was coming up together to do like a full checkup, whatever. Yeah, that's what I get from it.
Okay. Thank you, Kennedy, for responding. Anyone else? Brave Soldier Kennedy did a job. Anyone else? Don't be shy. What you get from the passage?
I get kicked out, so I was never after the story.
Okay. Anyone else? What did you get from the passage?
How she compared athletes to the other, to like normal people. She's expecting it to be different. Really different. Well, she had slight differences, whereas they were doing the not exactly, but opposite of what she wanted them to do. But I guess it's something new.
Okay. All right.
Something similar to what Nancy said. She was looking for a huge difference because she used cabbies to mental athletes.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead. Anyone else? Okay, I thought someone was gonna say something. Okay, so this is a very interesting article, I thought. I was all eyes and ears. The first thing was that so we have this neuroscientist named Eleanor, and she's basically tried her first test, or her first problem that she wanted to figure out was, what effect driving all day around these streets would have on people's brain, right? And so if she want to figure out what effect would driving along these streets would have on someone's brain, the best person the test would be taxi drivers, because they do that all day, 24/7. And so she got some taxi drivers, and she found that was very important with her findings with the taxi drivers. What was a major finding that she found with the taxi drivers that was, epic? Like, she wasn't expecting
that they were 7% larger.
Yeah, that their brains. This is like very important. Like, this is like so critical, and it even surprised me. Like, their brains. It says the right posterior hippocampus, a part of the brain known to be involved in spatial navigation, that's navigating through space and areas, was 7% larger than normal in carriers, right? So they actually found I like this word, physical alteration, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, their brain actually changed. Like, to think of it, like, their brain actually was altered or changed based on what they did. Right? That's incredible. And so, and that was shattering, because it was normally thought that, if you're an adult, your brain basically stays the same. Like there's no change that happens to your brain as you grow older. Structurally speaking, like, we're talking about the actual weight of it, the actual structure of it, the actual physicalness of it. Like, that wasn't thought to change. Sure, you could gain more information and, gain more memory, but like they say, the people thought that the basic anatomical structure was more or less static. Like, nothing really is going on more, But according to McGear, it actually found that your brain, actually increased in size and structure physically based on, what you did. And so she is expecting, okay, whether that occurs in these taxi drivers, and certainly the same should be true with, the the mental athletes who memorize a bunch of stuff. And so she found no difference in the brains, of regular people and the mental athletes people, except for one thing. And that one thing was that they activated, or the regions of their brain was activated just like the taxi drivers. And it's because these people who are able to memorize so much different stuff, they do it by using pictures. So they pretend like they walk inside a room, and they would say, okay, you walk inside a room, you grab the cup, you sit on the couch, you go to the television, you whatever. So they pretend like they are actually doing something, and they they associate the number that you give them, or the snowflake that you give them, or whatever you give them, to an actual image. Or they pretend like they're driving along the street, and they associate um they associate the number that you give them, the letter that you give them, whatever you give them, they associate that with something along the street or something along the drive. And so that's how they're able to remember so much things. And so that's why the reasons their brain was activated just like how it was with the taxi drivers. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's the idea. So it's amazing. It was an amazing study. Some vocabulary words that we could put out. This is that mutable is a good one. Reorganizing, readapting. I like this one. Phenomenon, very powerful word to use. This is very versatile. Phenomenon. Incapable of spawning. I like that word. Spawning, growing. Right? I like that. Synapses, more so a biology term. Anatomical structure. Right? Like, very good word. Static. Inherited wisdom. Right? Okay. You wanted to find structurally different. Structurally different. Structurally, I like that word. Structurally. So these are some vocabulary words that you could, learn a definition of if you don't know them. Or just be exposed to that you could use in your own writing, right? Photographs, anatomical. Did we underline anatomical? Yes. I like this one. Surprisingly, it's a good transition. Surprisingly. Evidence, somehow reorganize. Reorganize. Intensive, right? Significant. Indistinguishable. This is a very good one. Indistinguishable. That means, anyone know what indistinguishable means? Before I say.
Not distinguishable.
Yeah. If something is indistinguishable, that means that you can't tell the difference, right? You can't tell the difference. Indistinguishable, cognitive. Chomps. It's a very good word. Simple but strong. Circuitry. Very good word. This is a good one. Very good one. This one should be learned. Engaging. Navigation. When she say cabbies, she mean by cabbies, right?
You mean the cab drivers, right?
Cabs.
Yeah, the cab drivers. Okay. Conjuring. Consciously. Automatically is a good word. and I think that's good. Distributing, right? Yeah, so those are words that we need to remember. Words that we need to remember. All right. Okay. All right, so let's go into the essay. Let me answer the questions. This was an easy essay, so I think that we could be able to answer these, pretty nicely. And the good thing about this one is that, um, no diagrams, man. So,
I like that.
you like the diagrams?
Mr. Batty, where do you get like these passages from?
Nigga,
This is actually SAT papers. So,
I was wondering, so I get some practicing. I was trying to look for some papers, but the ones online were a little more simple.
they're simple. Yeah, if you go and now the SAT, the SAT is harder than the Bgcse. So I don't expect your Bgcse to really be knocking like this, or your BJC. They give you something simple. But the good thing about doing this is that you get something that is harder. So when we do the BJC and BCSC papers, they should be a little less. You should understand them quicker. You know. Um, but these questions, I find them to be nice because they are, especially the passages, are very. They teach you something new, and plus, the diction and the vocabulary scratches your mind. Like, for example, this word, right? You know this means? You say all that driving around the streets. This basically mean like the streets are, we'd say, twisting, a lot of twisting, a lot of turning. That's what that basically means.
curves.
A lot of curves, yeah, right? Something
Okay,
like that.
Mr. If I ask you to send me some copies, would you do so?
It's easy. Just literally just it ain't that deep. Like just go on SAT past papers, right? And the site that I like is this one, Blog Prep Scholar. Let's go on that. And the good thing about that is that what they do is this is what be on the fifth one, right? So they give you the questions. So they're gonna load up right now. So once you ready, do it. This one we did this before, right? The restaurant with the guy and his daddy came and stuff like that. So you could do it, right? And then when you finish do it, then you could just go on the explanations and they'll tell you, hey, this one is right. It's right because la 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 la. This one is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So they give you the questions and the answers. So this is very good. You see it, Nancy?
Yes, I'm just taking some screenshots so I can remember.
Yeah, so it's a very good site to use for for practice. This essay, I think it's an essay question here, but the essay question does not have any answers. So yeah, they don't know. It's just just write the essay, buddy. Yeah, but very good site. I love this site. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go. So very good for practice. Very good for practice. And if you are taking the SAT, well, good practice for you too. So people who go on the states to study. Who ain't going to UB? They're gonna duck UB.
I going out to the States to study.
You going out to state study, so you're gonna take SAT then?
Yes.
Otherwise, I could cut my behind. Well, anyway,
Say that.
I get 3 years.
Yeah, you got 3 years, so make use of it, right? I think I'm gonna do an SAT classes next semester. So, maybe
LOL.
say LOL. Yeah, maybe you could join that. If not, there are other SAT classes. I don't know much about them though, but I imagine that there are SAT classes around. Okay, so yes, we are on. Sorry, apologies. We are on the first question. Sorry. The question says, according to the passage, my girl's findings regarding taxi drivers are significant because they demonstrate the validity of a new method. They provide evidence for a popular viewpoint. They call into question an earlier consensus. They challenge the authenticity of previous data. Like this word, authenticity. Authenticity means the quality of something being true. So, anyway, which one of these is the correct answer? Does her finding about the taxi drivers then demonstrate the validity of a new method? No, because she didn't. Anyway, let me not give you all answers. What do you think it is?
D.
D? D, I think
D.
someone said D. D is close. I ain't gonna lie. D is either D and C.
C.
Yeah, D is close, but it's either D and C. And I tell you, D is close. D is so close, man. They're wrong for this. But the reason why it's not D is because there's no her. Look, let's read the passage. The passage says that um the passage says that after a groundbreaking study, no, Migrant study suggested the old what? Inherited what?
Wisdom.
Was simply not true. So was it based on any data?
What?
Right? Was it based on any data? It said it had long been what? Thought to be true. Right? Thought. So it wasn't no data. So it doesn't challenge the authenticity of previous data. Because they ain't talk about no data. But it does call into question an earlier what? Consensus. Because people thought it was true. So it's C. Alright? Do you understand that? Hello out there. Hey, hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just making sure. Which choice provides the best evidence to answer the previous question?
D.
B. B, let's go.
B, line 20. B, the B, D.
So we got our answer from 25 and 26. And so, what was that? Yeah. D is correct. As used in line 24, basic most nearly means initial, simple, necessary, or fundamental. Basic most nearly means initial, simple, necessary, or fundamental.
Simple.
Say it again.
Simple.
We gotta go line 24, eh? Let's see. Alright, so line 24 is 21, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, simple. I see simple. 20, 21, 22.
Basic, right there.
Oh, basic. Sorry, I thinking. Of course, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, right.
Of course. Like, totally. I totally saw that. Like, come on. Nancy, why did you even say that? I saw that, Nancy. Come on. Right, Nancy?
Simple.
You have my vote.
Thank you so much for showing me it. Basic. So, that while okay, so it had long been thought that the adult brain was incapable of spawning new neurons. So they thought it couldn't make new neurons. It couldn't produce new neurons. That although learning caused synapses to rearrange themselves and new links between brain cells to form, the brain's basic atomical structure was more or less static. So what do we mean by basic here?
See?
It's B.
Oh. No, it can't be simple.
C.
Say it again.
Biology.
C.
C.
No, not necessary. Fundamental.
D.
Oh, you said D. Oh.
Yes, D.
D, yeah. It's, in my mind, it's either A or D. I really like A, you know. I don't know why the answer saying A. They say D. But I like A more because A is, it says the brain's basic atomical structure is more or less static. Like its initial atomical we can't use initial for real because initial would mean from birth. We don't want that. So fundamental, yeah, we could go with fundamental. Yeah, it's fundamental, most nearly fundamental. Like what they basically trying to say is that the brain you have as an adult, at least according to conventional wisdom, was that hey, you know, it stays, it don't change like that. But it showed that, you know, it can change based on the activities that you do. You know, those things can have an effect. Number 45. Which question was McGirr's study of mental athletes primarily intended to answer? Is it A, does the act of memorization make use of different brain structures that does the act of navigation? Does the mental athletes inherit their unusual brain structures, or do the structures themselves develop as a result of specific activities? Or C, does heightened memorization ability reflect abnormal brain structure or an unusual use of normal brain structure? Or D, what is the relationship between general cognitive ability and the unusual brain structures of mental athletes? So is it A, B, C, or D? Say it again. C? Number 45.
D?
D? Okay, so who said D? Kennedy? Or someone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it says, what is the relationship between general cognitive ability and the unusual brain structures of mental athletes? Remember, they didn't know if the mental athletes had unusual brain structures, you know. They didn't know that. So we can't say that their study was to show the relationship between general mental ability and the unusual brain structures of mental athletes. We can't say that because they didn't know if the athletes had unusual brain structures. But what we could say is C because it says, does heightened memorization ability reflect abnormal brain structure? So that, remember her question was, does, the fact that they can memorize so well, is that because their brain is structurally different from the rest of the people? And contrary to her belief, she found that nope. Their brain is the same. Their brain is the same. But they do use a certain part of their brain more than the others. Okay. So the real question was, does heightened memorization of ability of reflect, or is a testament of, or shows abnormal brain structure, or unusual use of normal brain structure? All right. So that was the idea there. Okay, we're gonna stop right there because I have to give you all your homework on the language thing. So we're gonna stop here. If you want the rest of the answers, just go to the website I showed y'all, and it's gonna show you the rest of the answers to this. Okay, so let's go. But I really like this essay. I really do. It's really easy essay. Very straightforward in my opinion. If I was taking the SAT, I would wish that this would be my paper. Okay, so next up we have, oh yes. Okay, so we're gonna try to do a recent paper. Oh no, let me see. Let's see this. So let's go with Bgcse first. Please do the homework. Kennedy included, Cooper included. Please do the homework. And for this one, I wonder how I want it. Do I want it typed or do I want it written?
Please type.
if you type it, then Word could correct all your mistakes.
Okay.
But if you write it, it's gonna be hard. Edit.
So you don't want to correct.
And if you write it, then it'll be hard for me to understand. Okay, write it. Write the essay.
Mr. Petit.
Yes, ma'am.
You were saying if we type it, we could easily see our stuff. So what if we write it, then type it to check, and then?
Y'all ain't gonna do that. You know when you write mine, gonna do that. Okay, so this is Bgcse peoples. Your composition. So this is paper 1. This is the exam you're gonna take in. Oh, May? Why does it May? I thought this is in April. This exam in, oh, I guess Bgcse in April. Bgcse in April. Oh, I thought this is.
That's what I meant.
I thought this is in April. Anyway, so I mean, still have a lot of time. Okay. Anyway, that's paper 1. So for people who have taken Bgcses, this is the first paper that you're gonna take. It's a writing paper, 40 marks. So do your best. So the idea here is that you have to answer both questions. So question 1 and 2. The first one, you have to write a composition, and it have to be 300 words. The second one, you have to write a letter. So you have to know how to write a letter. Letters have headings and endings and stuff like that. Pay attention to what? Punctuation, like commas, dots, periods, question marks, spelling, and what? Hand writing. Oh my goodness, I can't stress this enough. Hand writing. Please, people. Print. Print. For heaven's sake, print. At the beginning of your composition and letter, write the number and topic you have chosen. Your answers must be written in the space provided in the booklet. Okay, good. So this one says that, very important, answer this question on the line paper included in this booklet, and outline or plan must be written before you begin your composition. So write a plan. So when you're writing this essay, please write a plan at the beginning, then write the essay. Okay, this is being recorded. So you can't say Mr. Petit didn't tell me, you didn't tell me. No, I told you. write a plan first. Right? The plan should include what your thesis statement is going to be, right? And your 3 points of your thesis statement. Like basically what you're going to include in paragraph 1, what you're going to talk about in paragraph 2, what you're going to talk about in paragraph 3. Okay? This is a 5-paragraph essay, including introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. I want you to write it on... you're not going to write a story on someone who betrayed you. Don't go that route. Do not write a narrative essay. Please don't write a narrative essay. They trying to don't write a narrative essay.
I told you could have choose.
I know you could choose, but I'm telling you now, like, do not write a narrative essay. They mark narrative essays harder. I wouldn't advise you to write a narrative essay, because narrative essay needs to be full of suspense, and drama, and climax, and plot, and characters, and setting. Trust me. Don't do a narrative essay. Descriptive essays, yes, ma'am?
So typing or when I get to go on the 3 or 4 times,
You're writing. And you're gonna write a plan with it too. This one is a descriptive essay. Describe your day. Please don't do descriptive essays. They're trying to kill you. Because what they say, be sure include a vivid description of the setting, the sights, the sounds, activities that took place. Trust me, they will mark this hard. Don't go the descriptive route. And don't go the narrative route. Please. Write a story ending with the following words. From now on, I will always do what is right, despite the consequences. Don't go this route either. Don't write no story.
So what route do you want to go?
I can tell you right now what route to go. E.
I said the same thing. I don't know what route we go.
E. Write an expository essay. Always. That's the best bet.
You setting us up for a downfall right now.
No. I said not that visibility.
Pardon?
I suck at all.
Say it again. So, you suck at this? Well, you don't want to write a story. Stories, I'm telling you now, don't write no narrative essay. That's exactly how I do bad in my Bgcse. I ain't gonna write a story.
Oh, Lord.
Now, in my Bgcse, I'm gonna write a story, and guess what I got? A nice C. A nice C. When I got that C, I was like, what? That was the... Oh, boy, I was so disappointed. But then when I go on... And then when I go on in the Bgcse and write an expository essay, sensibly, guess what I got?
A F.
A.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Cooper, you don't got to be that.
That's the best statement. That's it.
So you go ahead and write a narrative. They'll mark you so hard you won't know what to do.
I understand what you're talking about because when I did a story.
So expository is the best route.
Expository is the best route. Please.
Where I can find them reasons from the finale?
Out your head. That's just out your head. That's what you're gonna find them.
I agree.
What about persuasive?
Persuasive is good too, but anything persuasive, anything given reasons like that. But anything with writing a story and describing a setting and vivid description, trust me, they will kill you with the grading of that. So you wanna go ahead.
Is it the same for Bgcse? Like
the same. Go expository. Go expository, please. Our teacher taught us to write only one type of essays, and that's expository. She ain't tell us no. She ain't going no other route, and she know what she's doing because we got an A. At least I got an A. I know my other classmates. I got an A, and most of us did well. You know. So school. This is your essay for Bgcse people. School should be allowed to host after-school dances as fundraisers. Do you agree or disagree? Provide at least 3 reasons to support your view. Okay. So that's your essay to write. 5 paragraph introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and conclusion. Neat, please. Now, this is taken from 2019 paper. So, if you want to find it, you could always find it from Student Chat. Now, for my BGCSE candidates, trust me, when next week, when this
Oh,
comes,
mercy, I don't know.
when this comes, I will take your essay and show it to all the class, and we're gonna examine it together. And I gonna say who paper this is. And you know, Nancy, you know, you already know I take it your paper, so you better be.
No way, I didn't know and then.
You return that.
I done it trouble.
I could do it just like that.
That's embarrassment. You can put me on blast.
Because your essay is gonna be so good that you want to be an example to the entire class.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how good your essay gonna be. Okay, so I'm gonna say, based on Kennedy's paper, this is how you do it, right, Kennedy? And Kennedy is gonna show us how to do it. GCSE. I can say based on Ricardo's paper.
They double homicide.
Based on Juan's paper, that's how you do it.
Miss Petite, you got high hopes.
Yeah, man, I have high hopes. I want to see how y'all gonna do in the exam.
We're gonna see some tests today.
Child, I can see my true colors in English right now.
The true colors.
Miss Petite.
Yes,
your time still fasting.
Oh, yeah. Remember, I have to change this thing, man. I don't know why this thing changed yet. Yeah, it's actually 8 o'clock. Make sure I change your time too, because no one want to be coming to work late. Okay, recently it has been suggested that there should be a nighttime curfew law for school-aged children in the Bahamas. Do you agree or disagree? Give reasons for your opinion.
Therefore, ask me this.
Oh,
BGCSE. BGCSE people, this is your question. Recently, it had been suggested that there should be a nighttime curfew law for school-aged children in the Bahamas. Do you agree or disagree? Also, make your plan, please. Your word limit is how much? 350 to 500 words.
I know.
Well, I could try.
Bedtime.
Mr. Bgcse, what? Number 3.
Say it again. Go ahead.
Number 3. We can't do that? Do that one?
That's
only number 5.
Many people in the Bahamas combine their education part-time job. Explain some problem. This could work too. This could also work. Yeah, number 3 could also work.
This is for Mr. Petite. This is going to be a long weekend.
It's not a lot. It's just one essay, Miss Nancy. So you either could do number 3 or number 5. BGCSE people, number 3 or number 5.
Are you being tense? By the time I finish this essay.
At least you'll get a choice.
Sweetie, listen. This is how much.
And your essay is gonna be 350 to 500 words.
He's expecting a whole level understanding, and
yeah, deep. And then BGC people, y'all only expected to write how much words? I think only 300, right? 300, approximately 300 words.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know about that because my last essay, right, it was like almost 500 words, but I could try.
Kennedy, deep. Okay, I have to run. Someone's asking me to pick them up, and so I can't leave them hanging. They already knock off. So we'll call it a night, and I'll see you on tomorrow. Please, Monday, please. I want to see these nice essays.
Mr. D.
Yes, sir.
Before you go, ask a question, please.
Go ahead.
Everybody go.
Go ahead.
Everybody go.
Mr. D, you can put it back on the screen. Good night.
I really have to go. I can't stay.
Good night.
I can call you right back, Ricardo.
All right then.
Yeah, I can call you back. I can't stay.
Good night.
Yeah, Juan.
Look out for my message, man.
Yes. My apologies. Yes.